Am I live on YouTube? It looks like I may be. All right, great. Well, I am just finishing getting set up, and we are waiting on, as usual, Dennis will be here very soon. Let's see here. I'm just getting it ready for Facebook. Yeah. Save that. And going live there too. Awesome. All right. Well, we are live and we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube and we're waiting on Yates whenever he shows up. But other than that, we're ready to rock and roll. I don't see anybody in the chat yet or anything like that. But if you are, go ahead and pop us a comment. Let me know who you are, where you're from. If you've got questions, go ahead and send those my way. I'll be glad to just talk about whatever while we're waiting on the former Right Worshipful Rambles to show up and any other listeners. I'm also a little bit early because I had scheduled for 9:30, but my kids are asleep, so it's as good as time as any to go ahead and get rolling. So we're good. So we got 4 people on. So pop a call. Jamie Starrett, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to have you here, man. How was your weekend? Samantha, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'm gonna butcher your last name. Is it a Ravodi? Ravati? I apologize. I'm trying not to, but Samantha, welcome. RTZW is at Taco Bell. Okay, man. You're kind of taking things in your own hands when you go to Taco Bell. So great food, but the aftermath is not always nice. But I love Taco Bell. Man. So I don't know. Let's see. Caesar Rubio, what's up, brother? Good to have you, Caesar. Jamie Starrett says it was an awesome weekend at Grand Lodge. I'm surprised we didn't bump into each other. Man, there was a lot of people there that I know were there, but either I just didn't see or we just didn't bump into each other. I spent a lot of time in the lobby and in the pop-up shop across the street. Probably more time in the pop-up shop than at the lobby. But I met a lot of people. I talked with a lot of people. But there was just as many people that were there, and for whatever reason, I didn't run into them. Dan Best, hello, Dan. Welcome. I'm glad to have you, sir. But yeah, I've seen a lot of posts from people at Grand Lodge, and I don't know how I didn't run into them. But the fellowship side of Grand Lodge was really good. I really enjoyed it. There was not every part was great, but the fellowship side was definitely enjoyable. And so let's see, we got Dennis popping in. Hello, Dennis. We are live, so be careful what you say already.
Hello, friends and brothers. Glad to see you. This is not Right Worshipful Dennis Yates coming
Right
to
Worshipful
you live.
Rambles.
Right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great. We already got people in. Brad says, if I had not been initiated but have been invited to a lodge, is it appropriate for me to be here? Of course, you can still be here. This is for everybody. We're here to answer questions, discuss Masonic topics. You don't have to necessarily be a Mason to be here. Feel free to say whatever. It's fine. Of course, keep it appropriate, keep it respectful. But other than that, we're all good, man. Keith Williams, did you make any purchases over the weekend? I didn't really spend a whole lot of money, but I did buy this from the Grand Lodge. Pursuit of a Thread by D. Lafayette Vest. I've heard good things about it, and it was the last one there for sale, and so I took it
Very good.
upon myself. Have you already read it, Dennis?
Yes, I have one. Yes,
Oh, you got one? I also
I have already.
while I was at Grand Lodge, I had this sent to me. This is More Light: Collected Masonic Writings by Austin R. Schifrin, I believe. And I've already started it. It's a collection of short stories, so you can sit and read a chapter in like 5 minutes. And
No, it's a lot like Kohenki's.
was it Kohenke or Chris Williams?
No, Kohenki
Kohenke.
has, well, Chris has short stories, and well, Kohenki has more philosophical stories,
Mm-hmm.
real short ones,
Yeah.
and Chris has short stories, which is based on the fictional character.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it's easy to read. I mean, like I said, you can pick it up, read a chapter, and be done. And so hopefully, I'll be doing a review on this book soon, and maybe even have the author on to discuss it with him. Let's see. Iceman says hello, brothers. Hello, Iceman. Adam Olivier says howdy. Hello, Adam.
Hey, hey,
We didn't really get to. We didn't get to. We didn't get to. I'm having a brain fart. We talked at Grand Lodge, right? I think we did.
I
So
saw he was
yeah,
over at the pop-up shop,
yeah, I know we talked,
or maybe it was in
but
between.
we were planning on having a conversation together, and it just didn't. We never saw each other again. Yes. So there is Kadeem. What's up, Kadeem? He says.
Hello, Kadeem.
Charles Smith says, "What's up, brothers?"
Hey, hey.
And then Kadeem says, "Right Worshipful Yates." You don't have to call him that anymore. We don't even have to. We don't have to.
Nope,
No,
no longer right
you
worshipful.
can call him. You can call him whatever you want at this point. I can't thank you enough for the gloves. So
You're welcome. You're
just
welcome.
remember,
Every
Kadeem, every
Mason.
time you put on those gloves, remember what Dennis told you. Just remember what he
Every
said to you, and don't repeat it, Dennis. Adam,
every every Mason should have a pair of gloves. If
agreed.
you do not have a pair of white gloves, then hey, you're not doing Freemasonry the way it was written,
Yep.
the way it was taught.
By the way, we got 13 or 14 viewers right now, so if you would all just
Nice.
please be sure to give us a like if you're enjoying the video so far, and then if you're not subscribed, please do that also. We'd really appreciate it. You can also share
Yeah,
this
when you do
video
that,
wherever you like that you think people might enjoy this, because we're gonna be talking for probably an hour or so. Yeah. So Adam says we said hello, but he didn't get to talk much. Charles Smith said Dennis kept running away from me. I kept seeing him, but he kept disappearing before I could say hi. That's very
I
unusual because
had.
Dennis is usually stationary talking. So I don't.
I was very busy this weekend trying to manage everything. It was tough. I saw y'all and then I didn't see you and then I saw you again and then I saw you again. I saw you and your brother both hanging out over at the pop-up shop.
Hmm. Let's see. Dennis Pedretti says waiting 18 months to become a Mason, not right. Yeah, that's pretty long, I would say. If you're waiting 18 months and you haven't heard anything from Lodge, there's no communication. That's definitely a problem. But I don't think necessarily longer petitioning periods before you get or longer periods before you get a petition is a bad thing. I don't. I think 18 months is a bit excessive, probably, but it really depends on the situation. Let's see. Sean Rothberg. Hola. ¿Cómo
Hey,
estás,
Sean, what's going
señores?
on?
The only senior citizen over here is Dennis.
That would
Dennis,
be me
Dan
with my
Best.
with my one gray spot. See?
Dan Best says, "I really like those knives that you showed off on your live stream, the railroad spikes." Yeah, man, we talked about those knives on a previous
Yes,
video.
Mickey Allen.
Mickey Allen, absolutely. Find him on Facebook, Mickey Allen.
Yes.
And I tell you what, man, those knives are nice. Like those are one piece of metal. I mean, they're not gonna snap or anything like that. That's what you want out of a knife. That's quality. And one of the
Yeah,
guys from my
any
lodge actually bought one, and he had it custom made with the chapter emblem in the hilt. And so yeah, it was pretty cool.
all those knives, and he also makes a little hatchet as well, and all of those are made with one solid piece of railroad tie, and he creates a knife. So if it doesn't work out right or
A
whatever, he
railroad
has to
tie.
just toss. Yeah, I mean a railroad spike, and if it doesn't work out right, he has to just throw it away and start over. seriously, it's not something that, that is a true work of art to shape it perfectly, to make that particular knife. So he does an awesome job. He really does.
Yeah. Jason Rockenberg says he's still waiting for his hug. Dennis, you're kind of dropping the ball there. And
Well,
then,
he could have got it at Grand Lodge, but he was staying at home like a wuss.
and
Not everybody stays home and expects hugs all the time.
well, he's a supporter, so you need to go to his house and deliver that hug. Because I'm very disappointed that you haven't hugged him yet, Dennis. And then RTZW says he forgot about his hug. So man, you need to work out those hugging muscles, stretch them out, be sure you don't get any cramps. And
I'm all in, brothers. Come on,
Jason Ruckenberg.
Bring it in.
Jason Ruckenberg says he agrees. So you need to just start working.
Bring it in for the real thing. Yeah. I'm ready.
Jason Pedretti said, Dennis Pedretti. You don't have to wait that long. We're trying to. He's talking about Oak Lawn Masonic Lodge, and he said he told the Grandmaster in Springfield. So I guess Illinois, maybe. I'm not sure where. Sorry you had a bad experience, Dennis.
Springfield, Oklahoma.
Is there an Oklahoma? Is there Springfield, Oklahoma? I don't know. Anyway, sorry you had a bad experience. I would probably try another lodge. I would recommend casting a wide net. If you're looking at a lodge, say I'm willing to travel this far. Google it, find all the lodges in that radius. Check them all out, because it sounds like maybe that's not the best.
Yeah,
lodge.
Look at all of them. Yeah, look at all of them, because the going to just one, and that's probably not the right fit for you anyways if they're not responding.
Like yeah, doesn't sound like it. So
it wouldn't be the right fit for me, because I'm just too active. I can't handle something like that. I got to move on.
Yeah, Sean, we missed you at Grand Lodge, man. Missed you. You missed some great stuff. You missed Brad Billings just being awesome. You missed hanging out with me and Dennis. And
Brad was stellar this weekend.
Yeah,
I have to say he was stellar this weekend. I love Brad, and been a friend for a long time, and being able to serve under him this year was great. Mm-hmm. And then this weekend he just sealed the deal, and he showed us all why he was meant to be Grandmaster at this very moment.
One more year.
I don't know if he would agree with that. In a way, after being a DDG, and there's others that can attest to this. After being a DDG and working as hard as we did this year, and then along with the stuff that you and I did as well, 1 year is good. I'm good for at least a good 15 years. So let's I'm ready for a nap. In fact, I haven't slept since I got home. I'm ready to take a nap.
Did you just get home today? I guess you did, since you were at Grand Lodge this morning, huh?
Yeah, I got home just a little while ago.
Yeah. So dealing with the fun stuff. Yeah. So on a positive,
they always have. Well, okay, go ahead.
On a positive note, if you haven't seen it yet, Dennis and I made a very big announcement after Grand Lodge yesterday, and it just got posted a little bit ago. So for those that didn't see it yet, I mean, we're free to discuss it now, right, Dennis? I mean, there's no reason why we can't.
Absolutely. It is time to discuss it.
Yes. The Masonic Improvement Conference, and it's going to be called the Masonic Summit, Building a Better Brotherhood. That will take place this year in person in Corpus Christi on September 16th. And it is
September 16th.
It is going to be aside from Grand Lodge, it is going to be the event to go to. And maybe aside from Grand Lodge and Masonic Con and like Fort Worth's Festive Board, these are all great things, but definitely it's going to be up there. It's going to be up there.
We're going to be better than all. I don't care.
Well, I don't want to draw the line.
Play it down. Right? He can play it down, but I'll draw the gauntlet. Come on, 148, bring it. Come on down and see us.
It's going to be It's going to be legendary. They're going to sing about it in songs for years to come. In
Yes.
fact, we're going to start singing songs so we can sing about it in songs for years to come. It's going to be great.
Yes.
So what
We'll
it's going to
make
look
sure
like,
and do that.
what it's going to look like is we have we have some of the speakers ironed out, but not formalized, and they will be announced as we get closer. But it's going to be some esoteric talk. There's going to be some leadership talk, some motivational stuff. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a full day. And after that, we're going to have a festive board. Again, going to be the best festive board that can be put together. And however, it's going to be also we're going to moderate ourselves because right after the festive board, we're going to go directly to the USS Lexington for a Master Mason degree upon the boat. And if you haven't seen a
Yes.
Master Mason degree upon the boat, upon the Lexington, it's like going to Chalk Mountain or the Alamo Observance or going to Goliad. It's something that every Texas Mason should do at least once. So it's just going to
Yes.
be fantastic.
And there's brothers that come from all over the world to come see this. And or I've personally visited with brothers from Florida, from Canada. This year we will have brothers from Mexico, New Mexico, Oklahoma. I'm hoping Arkansas. I'm working on that, and even more coming in to. And these are dignitaries, not just brothers, but worshipful brothers. And so it's gonna be a great event. And we're gonna not only will we have some, and our education isn't gonna be like the nuts and bolts, how to finance your lodge so much, but it's going to be on leadership
Mm-hmm.
and really the mentorship programs that you ought to have in your lodge, and not the ones that they have at Grand Lodge. Grand Lodge has its own, and we love the officer leadership training. I've never missed officer leadership training since I started years ago, but this is going to be different, and then the some esoteric. We'll have some. I've even got a technical guy that might just come in and teach about some technical stuff on
Cool.
computers and helping people get into the 21st century
So
and
the goal is to
talk
cover
to
the goal is to cover a wide range because not everybody's interested in esoterics, right? Some people just want to
right.
level up their lodge. Some people might be interested in that kind of stuff. And so what we're hoping to do is have a pretty wide range of topics. And granted, there's only so many hours in the day. So what I would like to
Yes.
do, and we'll formalize it more as we get closer, is we'll have the topics, and then we'll have breakout sessions if time and space permit, where you can dive more into with the topics with whoever has been discussing it. And so, I
Right.
mean, if you see like someone's going to be talking about something really esoteric, and then after that they're going to be talking about large leadership, and you really just focus on the esoteric, then hopefully you can just follow them to a breakout session and dive deeper into that. So that's going to be great. Ruben Bazan over on Facebook says it was great seeing both of you this weekend. You guys are hard to catch up
You
with.
too, brother.
Yeah, it
Love
was
you.
it was really good. It was in the brief amount of time I got to spend with you. It was really good. Um, yeah, we need to we need to be able to catch up in person some time when we have more time and we're not running everywhere. And then what else
Well,
we got?
don't forget, Ruben. Ruben, what date? Tell us the date for Laredo for um, the Washington event, the George Washington celebration in Laredo. That way we can tell all of our listeners. We want to tell them about that because that's they really know how to get down in Laredo. They have a good time. It's they have some great Freemasonry, and then they also have fun, and everybody gets together and gets into the parade and has a fun time.
Man,
Ruben,
we
post on
got
there,
real quick.
post on the Facebook what time it is.
We got 21 viewers right now and 9 likes. So please drop us a like, especially if you're getting any kind of enjoyment out of this. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We got 21 viewers. I think that's probably the most viewers we ever had at once. So be sure to drop those
Nice.
likes, man. I really would appreciate that. As far as
And ask some questions.
yeah, so Dan Best says if you remember Dan Best, he's been having trouble getting things going with his lodge. Dan Best said, reach out to
Yes.
your Grand Lodge, man, and say, if they say reach out to your lodge, say this is what I've been doing. It has been working. Dennis Pedretti says, good luck on that. They'll blackball you. Dennis, look, man, I'm sorry you had a bad experience with your lodge. I wish you the best of luck with the FBI that you're trying to get into, but don't come in here and be a negative like that, though. Okay, I'm just politely asking. Okay, the next step would be let's not go there. Oh, Jason Rockenberry says, here's our 10th. Well, we're at 14 now, but you got it going. I appreciate that. And Austin White says, just dropping in for a quick hello. He has an early morning tomorrow. Austin White, thank you as always for hopping in. We definitely appreciate your support as well.
Yes. Thank you for stopping by, Austin. And Dan Best, he sent me the information and
hold on. Michael, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm probably going to butcher your last name. Michael Livier over on Facebook. How you doing tonight? I hope you don't mind sharing your live. You are more than welcome. We would be very happy if you shared our live. Please do.
Absolutely.
So
I'm looking up some stuff real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. So I was what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Ruben. Yeah, Ruben, man. Gotta hang out sometime. I would love to be able to go to Laredo for that event coming up. But like we were talking about, I'm back in education, and so my days I can just take and traverse are somewhat limited unless it's the summer months. But going back to the Masonic Summit that we're going to have on September 16th. If you just hopped in after we announced it, Corpus Christi, September 16th, Masonic Improvement will be hosting the Masonic Summit, and it is going to be legendary. And the goal is that once we get everything finalized, we want to focus on quality. And that's not to say like none of the other festive boards or anything else we've been to have not been quality, but because they've been great experiences. But I want to be sure that the attendants get the most for their dollar, because we'll be selling tickets. We can't operate in a vacuum financially, so we'll be selling tickets, and the goal is they may be a little more expensive maybe than most tickets, but we want to be sure that quality is unmatched anywhere. And so
you'll not only have something to take away with you, in your mind and in your spirit, but you'll have something to take away with you in your hand. There's going to be lots of takeaways from what we're doing.
Jason Rockenberg says quality, so then Dennis will not be involved. I like Jason. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, I figured you'd like Jason. Jason, okay, just so that you listeners know, Jason is my counterpart, like Justin. So I have this problem with J's in my life. So Justin is my counterpart on here. Jason is my counterpart in Scottish Rite, and he's the only person allowed to act like that with me and talk to me like that and treat me like that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's my editor-in-chief in person.
Who Jason is?
Yes.
Well, I had to do that for you this weekend.
All right. I try to get myself into trouble.
By the way, I'm wearing a really cool hat today, and I got a nice new polo. It is the Masonic Improvement gear that Dennis has been selling. And so if you watched the live streams when I went through the pop-up shop in Waco, covered some of that stuff. I'm loving it, dude. I love this hat. This is really a very comfortable polo. This is great stuff.
They're soft, aren't they? They feel good.
Yeah, very soft. Yeah, it's definitely soft.
Yeah,
we have some guy, I don't know, seems suspicious. David Bendel on chat. Do you know what David?
I don't know about that guy.
Yeah,
I heard he's kind of out there.
Sounds clandestine to me.
He sounds kind of out there. Yeah. I wouldn't let him speak too much on the Facebook or on the YouTube. I don't know about him.
Yeah.
No, actually, brothers. David is a close brother and friend of ours. We love him to death, and we wants you to know that he really
Yeah,
is,
David.
and he is one of the smartest brothers and wisest brothers we know.
David is the real deal. Always good to hang out with
He
him.
is.
We got a question
He
on
is
Facebook, and I'll let you answer
good.
this, Dennis, because
Oh no.
I don't have a filter right now. So I'll let you answer this. What was
Okay.
y'all's number one takeaway from Grand Lodge? From Tyler Smith.
Oh man, Tyler. Okay, so the number one takeaway from Grand Lodge this year is change. That's my number one takeaway from Grand Lodge this year.
Mm.
This year felt like a very pivotal year,
Mhm.
and we could definitely see and feel um, the era of change going through our fraternity with the overwhelming support of what our Grandmaster has done this past year,
Mhm.
and
And the
in
overwhelming support for our
of
Grand Junior
for
Warden
the
that got
incoming
us
Grand
all.
Junior Warden. Yes, they made their voice. The Grand West made their voice very clear this year, and it was great to see that. It was great to feel that. You know,
Mhm.
I hadn't felt that much excitement in a long time. The last time I felt that kind of excitement was like 3 or 4 years ago. There was some resolution and everybody stood up and booed. It seemed like. But this time, everybody stood up and cheered over, number one for the Grandmaster and things that he's accomplished this year, and number two over the overwhelming voting of our new Grand Junior Warden at this time, Jim Rumsey.
Mhm.
They, it's I can't express the way it feels when you're in that auditorium and you're hearing it. You just hear everybody so excited about something. I
Yes.
mean, how can you deny that? How can you deny that feeling?
I don't
You
know
know that
either.
you know that you know that song that says that one guitar dun just blew me away dun. All you people from the 80s, y'all know these millennials,
Yeah.
they don't have a clue. But that is a badass song, and that's how it felt. Even when you're outside the door just listening to the roar of
And
the
we were outside
craft.
the door for a little while.
I was, yep, yep, yep. I was outside the door.
Yeah, Tyler Smith says not talking about the issues, just the week as a whole. The week as a whole was good, man. The week as a whole,
Yeah,
um,
that's what I'm talking
yeah.
about. It was great.
There was, like I've said earlier, and it was probably before you hopped on. There were so many brothers that I have come to meet in my travels, and through this medium. So many brothers. Like I had someone ask me earlier, like, where were you? Like, I had glimpses of brothers, and we had very brief conversations, and we promised to have deeper conversations before the end of the weekend, and it just never happened. There's so
Right.
many brothers, so many good friends, and I met so many new Masons that I mean I'm still processing. Like everyone I
Yeah.
talked to, everyone I met, like Adam Olivier was on here earlier. It's like I remember your face, and
Right.
well, did we talk? I think we talked, and it was one of those things where it was a very brief conversation, and we meant to have more talk, and it just didn't happen. And the pop up shop
Yeah,
contributed to that a lot because so many people were coming through that pop up shop, and I mean just a steady stream of conversation with people, and so much cool
and
stuff
we,
there too.
yeah, and we were planning on having lots of in personalized uh YouTube, videos and stuff like that. But there were so many people, Justin running through and showing all the stuff was about all he could do,
Yeah,
and me, I'm sitting there peddling swag and then of course buying swag. I can't go anywhere without buying swag.
yeah.
But and then just all the brothers coming to say hi and give their support and love, and man, it's always Grand Lodge is just always an awesome experience. It
Yes, it is.
really is.
Yes, it is. Um, Dennis Pedretti says training class in the morning. Take care. Take care, Dennis. Thanks for hopping in.
Take care, Dennis.
Let's see. Bill Boyd says he picked a hell of a Grand Lodge to miss this year. First one in 8 or 9 years. You, yeah, man. It was,
Yes, you did.
it was a Grand Lodge like when Dennis, when there's a few Grand Lodges that really stand out to me, and I've been to several. When Brad Billings was elected to the Grand South, that stood out to me. When he was
Yes.
installed as Grand Master, that one also was very memorable. There were several memorable things that happened at the Grand Lodge this year, and so I'll never forget that either. And yeah, it was definitely something. James Kirkpatrick has joined after the football game, of course. Well, we're just glad to have you, James. James, you
Do
shared.
not talk about any points.
Oh, Cowboys lost. James, you I don't
No,
I don't know. I just
I,
mess with you. You shared an announcement with me. If you don't mind me sharing it, I would love to share it with everybody here. Just let me know in the
it
chat.
might not be ready to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
still
Just let me know in the chat if you don't mind me sharing that.
that's a planning kind of thing.
Oh, he says, yeah, go ahead. Awesome. So let's see. Let me be sure I'm not skipping anything before we get to this conversation here. They're talking about Cowboys. No one cares about that. Yada yada yada. Adam Olivier says, Dennis, your merch was awesome. Lots of good stuff. Yeah, I was really excited with all
Thank
that.
you, thank you.
And then James Kirkpatrick says, please go ahead. So I'll share what you share with me. 2025.
2025.
2025, our dear friend and brother James Kirkpatrick will be making himself available for the Grand South of the Grand Lodge of Texas. And that is exciting.
It is because we love tacos.
Yes, yes. Well, here's the thing. I know Jim Rumsey was elected for Grand South, and I know he's going to be a fantastic Grandmaster. Probably one of the best ones
Yes,
since the outgoing Grandmaster we just had this year. If James gets
right,
elected,
right,
I know that means we have another strong and capable leader going into the line. And I mean,
right,
I
right.
love James. He's a great guy, great ideas. I love hanging out with the guy. So if he gets elected, that's just going to cement the future of Texas Freemasonry.
Right, right.
Needless to say, I endorse James Kirkpatrick. But Jason Reichenberg,
Don't start doing too much politicking. We don't need this coming back
yeah,
and
I know,
hurting anybody.
I know. Anyway, so James Reichenberg says, I think for me, Brad Billings inspired a sense of friendship of masonry in Texas, encourage each other to meet not just as brothers, but also as friends. It did encourage
Yes,
most of us.
yes,
Um,
yes.
Sean Roberg said James is running for Grand Taco Master. No, he hasn't expressed any interest in Grand Commandery, to my knowledge, but but maybe one day. Talk about the hat, right? Uh,
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I don't know if anybody else did. I knew what you were talking about. That's funny.
yes. Let me go ahead and let me pop over here to Facebook. Oh, Tyler Smith says, "How
Okay.
about a shout out to the sandwich shop?" By the way, yeah,
Oh
Save Point
yes.
sandwiches, Save Point sandwiches or Save Point sandwich shop. Kind of caddy, it's kind of across the street from the Blue House next to Grand Lodge, the Fort Worth building, the 148 building. I didn't eat their
Yep.
sandwiches, but
It's in the Nexus building.
Kadeem had
I
one.
did.
Oh, did you? Was
Yeah,
it good?
they was delicious. Yeah, it was so good. And I ate half of it, and I got full, so I gave the other half to Mickey, and because it was just, and it was delicious. It was
Nice.
delicious. Yeah, it was a good deal.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony, over on Facebook. Yeah, man. I don't know if yeah. The conversations could not have they could not have been shorter. Like everyone I talked to, everything's just going so hectic, right? Like I was high here, high there. Let's catch up, and never got a chance. Um, what
Yeah,
there
it's
was.
always hard for us because we'll be in the middle of a conversation and we're shaking hands as people are walking by while we're trying to talk to somebody. And it's not that we're trying to be rude or anything, but that's just how
Yeah.
it works because you have so many friends that come together at once. You can't see them all, and spend the quality time that you like,
Tyler Smith says,
in such
being
a
my
amount of
first
time.
trip, I definitely enjoyed the collection of people out there. I wish I could have been there for the resolutions. And I really just realized I have no idea how the resolutions even went. Was there even a list
I
of what
do.
passed and what didn't?
I The only thing, everything went through. The resolutions, I don't know, but I do know the Grandmaster's recommendations, and this is another positive for the Grandmaster's year is that the Grandmaster's recommendations, all of them but one passed, and the one that did not fail. It was just tabled because they brought in too many different amendments to clutter it up, and so they finally just said, okay, let's table this until later. So it'll come back up next year. So that's another positive because when you have those resolution or those Grandmasters recommendations, that's clearing up the mud in the water of our law book, and so that's good.
So Kadeem says free tacos for every Master Mason, and David Bendel says the letter G stands for guacamole. James Patrick, David Bendel, did you know that truth is a divine attribute in the foundations of every virtue? Yes. So
I did know that because I read it earlier when you posted it earlier. You can't recycle that stuff. I'm watching.
So RTZW, one of our members, he says, I'm forming an activities committee at my lodge's next stated meeting. In y'all's opinion, and there's a few suggestions, so handle it. In y'all's opinion, what are some examples of good activities the lodge can do? James Kirkpatrick says, idea for an activity, have a treat the ladies dinner with the men serve the ladies.
We do that at a Valentine's dinner.
Oh wow, Valentine's dinner. It's a good idea.
Yeah, we do that every year.
Let me just throw a few things out because it really depends on your lodge. And what I mean by that is like the age demographics. So if you have an older lodge population and that's active that you want to get out, you're probably not going to take a max throwing, right? So it just depends. But some suggestions are and we'll start at just the simplest. When after Christmas last year, but before New Year's, my Yorkright my chapter and council, we met at a local restaurant and just had a year-end dinner with the families, and that was overwhelmingly positively received. And I mean, just the idea of being able to go out with your friends and your family, your brothers.
Christmas dinner.
Have a beverage or two without being within the confines of a lodge room, and just talk about whatever. Very good. It's a great time. I would also say it depends on where you are, because I'm not too far from the Metroplex, so conversations about Top Golf has been thrown out, or there used to be an axe throwing place. What?
I'd like to know if he's talking about inside activities for the lodge or outside activities to go to.
Yeah, that's a good point too. You're talking about field trips or just things?
Because there's some lodges that they have every month. They have one night a month that they do that they eat out, or they go to a bar and grill kind of place, and that's when they invite their potential candidates to come and meet with them, and they visit with them. So if you're gonna do something like that, then take advantage of that time and do something like that at the same time. So that's a good time to meet.
I do want to take a quick aside, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but we all love James Kirkpatrick, right? There's already a lot of taco jokes and stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, he starts it. I know he's cool with the taco jokes, right? But if you rewind a few years ago, brother, when Brad Billings was running, there was always the flat Brad jokes and the short jokes, right? Like a lot of us don't even remember those because it was so long ago. But after he got elected to the Grand South,
I remember.
After he got elected to the Grand South, we all kind of just agreed as a organization that it was time to cut out the jokes, right? And they may resume, who knows? But out of respect for him and his position, and so I mean, if James keeps the jokes going, that's fine. But let's just be sure if that day comes that he does get installed to the Grand South, which I know we're talking years down the road. Let's have that same respect for the position when he gets there.
Absolutely.
But that said, if he does put out a resolution that tacos have to be served in place of green beans, I will wholeheartedly support that.
I will vote for that. I will vote for that.
Yes.
Back to activities. If you're doing inside activities, Another good one that you can do is back your oh my gosh, backing the blue,
Mm,
having like just serving up pancakes and bacon, and it's real cheap and whatever. And but I prefer adding eggs to the mix and making it, well, not in today's age. I prefer adding potatoes to the mix or steak to the mix instead of eggs because they're so expensive. But really
what are you talking about?
make a nice meal and invite your
Mm,
your first responders to come through your lodge and have three different shifts of lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, so that the three shifts of your first responders can come through and eat at your lodge for
mm,
free, and just come in and you just give your thanks to them, and don't
yeah.
ask them for money. Don't do it as a fundraiser. Just do it as a thank you to them for what they do
Just
for
giving
us,
back to
because
the
they do.
community. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
No, I'm
And
not
a
saying
blood
you
drive.
can't have some petitions setting out, like if you know the people
Right,
and you, but
right,
but
right.
then again, maybe don't give them petitions. Like if you're more intentional about your
Just
petitioning
serve
process,
them. Yeah,
yeah,
just serve them the first time, and then they'll come back if they enjoy it. They'll come.
yeah, yeah.
And then also another thing is a blood drive.
Blood
That's
drive's
another
good.
easy thing that you don't have to do. You just call them and they'll come set up, and you just sit there and make pancakes for people who get off the truck, and something like that. That's some easy, cool, kind of fun stuff to do that just does something for the community as
Yeah.
well.
Bill Boyd says short visit tonight. Got to roll out. Just got home from Grand Lodge. Try to catch our next live. Thanks, Bill. Always appreciate you coming in, brother.
Thank you, Bill. Love you, brother. If
Um,
anybody doesn't know Brother Bill, go to his Facebook page. Brother Bill's uh, got a lot of good topics of discussion on his Facebook page. So go there and be square.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I would also say, if you're just looking for activities in your lodge, start a book club. Get some like-minded brothers that like to read, and say, hey, we're gonna pick one book, and we're gonna talk about one chapter, once a month or twice a month, and just do
And you
that.
can do it on Zoom.
Yeah, you can do that
You
on
can do it
Zoom.
on,
You don't have to do it at the lodge.
yeah, get it started in Zoom. And then if it gets too esoteric, then bring it into the lodge.
Yeah,
But start it out in Zoom and get your membership going, and then bring it into the lodge if it starts getting too deep into the actual work.
yeah.
That's
Or
that's an extra.
or another great idea is get some brothers together, and have them watch a short Masonic improvement clip, and then have a discussion about the topic. Yeah. It didn't have to be Masonic improvement. I'm just playing there, but it's some kind of educational topic that's short, that could prompt conversation. One of Victory.
Or
This is Jason Rockenberg. One of Victory Lodge's most successful events was a Christmas party that we organized with two of the lodges, who met at Alzavar Shrine. Had over
Yep,
70 people.
that
Um,
was awesome. That was fun. That was fun.
yeah, I love Christmas
With
parties, man.
poker.
Oh, I don't. He didn't mention
Yeah, there
poker.
was poker there.
I love Christmas parties, and my old lodge used to do it with the MWSA. It doesn't have to be with the MWSA. I think we might kind of go that direction this year, just because I think that's maybe on the agenda for the Grand Lodge. But which I think, personally, I don't have any problem with MWSA's. I think they're actually beneficial if done right. Um, but yeah, just do it with your lodge, if nothing else, and invite friends and family, or invite brothers from other lodge, and just have a granted, that's a ways away, right? Um, but that's always good. Or when July comes
Good way.
around, if you have a brother that has a lot of property, do fireworks out there.
We and along with that Christmas party, you can do it as like a collection for like Toys for Tots, or even better, stuffed animals for the police officers to carry in their vehicles, for those kids that end up in tragic situations, that
Oh
they
yeah,
always get a stuffed animal. So when you have your Christmas party, bring that stuff in. Have people get that,
yeah.
because that's when all the stuff's on sale,
We,
right?
we
So
have a
get
we
that
have
stuff.
a brother that always brings. It's one of the shrines he's associated with. They always have like a huge amount of stuffed animals, right? And so he'll bring a big bag of stuffed animals to the lodge, And usually you'll go to like the police department or something like that for to give the kids. But uh, at Christmas we had a parade. Instead of throwing candy out,
Oh, cool.
they threw those dolls out. I mean, they're not
Oh,
pretty, but they're soft, and they went through them quick
awesome.
because they were very popular. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of options if you get a hold of some stuffed animals or something. Something else that my Yorkite did, we worked with there's some brothers that every year work with I don't even know the name of the it's like a coalition of churches that kind of work together, and they identify children that probably aren't going to get anything for Christmas. But
Yeah, the angel tree. The
we also
angel tree.
we also partnered with there's a local children's home in a town nearby that doesn't have a Masonic lodge anymore. And so what we did is we got a list of names, and we found out what the kids wanted, right, and went and bought it. And some of the brothers just donated money, and some other people went and bought it, and um, so lots of kids got gifts that they probably wouldn't have got otherwise because of Masonic Lodge. And I don't know, Ben. I'm like really partial to helping kids out. The thought of a kid not getting anything for Christmas kind of breaks my heart. And so,
Yeah, and those are kind of the fundraisers that I can stand behind
yeah,
because we're not asking the public for anything. We're just contributing to the public. We're
the
trying to just
thing
help the public.
the thing is, a lot of brothers wanted us. Granted, I'm huge on promoting stuff. A lot of brothers wanted us to take pictures and promote this, but we didn't do that because that's not what this was about. This was not
Not
about
what it should
promotion.
be.
This was no. This was about actual, genuine charity. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing, and so we didn't make a big deal about that. We just secretly donated gifts and money, not secretly to the organization, but it was secretly received. And
The thought of using fundraisers as promotion is long past due as far as a good thought because it is no longer a good thought. That's not it obviously did not work for our lodges to build up our lodges. The you know Using fundraisers as promotion is not the way to do it. You just do your good deeds and people will notice that. When you do it and expect promotion, then people kind of they're just doing it for notoriety, blah 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 blah. But if you do it for the right reasons, then it comes back to you. So I agree. Don't 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 do your fundraisers for specifically for promotion. That's if you're going to do that, just pay the Chamber of Commerce to put your website on their website. Pay them $50 a year to have a link to your
yeah,
website on their Facebook, on their pages.
yeah.
That's promotion. That's real promotion.
Uh, One of the chats on here just says, Brad, is it appropriate to refer to Masons as brother before initiated? No, not really. I'm just being straightforward about it, so there's no misunderstanding. Like, no, because part of that initiatic process is what makes us brothers. So no, I would say you don't. You probably shouldn't. Like it'd be kind of strange. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't.
Dave Bennell
I
says
had
good work
brother.
done in private. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine from church, and they all call each other brother and all that kind of stuff. I had a friend of mine from church that would always say, hey brother," and I never called him brother. And then when he was finally initiated, I called him brother, and I said, "Now do you understand why I never called you brother?" And he got it. He hugged me. I never had a bear hug that hard. So do it right.
Yeah,
Do it right.
yeah. Um, we do. I do. Anthony. Anthony. I'm afraid I'm going to butcher your last name. Anthony Wahawk Cabello, but it's two L's. So is it Cabello?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce that? Is that right? If it's two L's, I'm sorry. I apologize, Anthony. But he did post the results. I'll go through it real quick, just if anyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
He's a brother. He's one of our brothers from San Antonio.
a holdover resolution number 11 was passed as amended. Resolution number one, and I don't even remember what these were. Resolution number one failed. Number 2 and 3 and 4, 5 passed. 6 failed as amended. 7, 8, 9 passed. Number 10 and 11 and 12 were withdrawn. 13 passed, 14 passed, 15 passed, 16 was withdrawn, 17 failed, 18 was withdrawn, 19 failed, and we already discussed the resolutions. I would say that I'm really curious which one was the resolution with the change on endowments, because
Yeah, which one was that? That was one of the
I don't
that was one of
know.
the earlier ones. That was
I
the
didn't even
first
keep
one.
I didn't even keep the book from this year. I usually keep the book that says what was being talked about.
Mine's still in the truck. I was
Yeah.
so tired I didn't
I
grab
don't
it out
remember
of
which
the
one. If
truck.
anyone remembers, Tyler Smith says, "Are you coming with us to Fort Worth Commandery in February?" So on February 4th, they're going to be conferring the orders at Fort Worth Commandery, and we have like 10 guys from my chapter and council going to receive the orders. So it is my sincere hope to attend to that because I haven't seen those 3 orders in a long time. And the Order of the Temple is my favorite order. It's probably my favorite. It's not a degree, but it's one of my favorite degrees in Freemasonry, just because it's beautiful. So
And
I'm intending to go. It's my intent to do so.
brothers, if you want to be a companion on February 24th, there will be a festival in Seguin, and I will definitely be there, and many others, as well as Jason Reichenberg and all the brothers from the chapter council and commandery there, as well as many others that will come and assist with them with getting it done. The 24th, I was saying the 23rd before, and I was mistaken. Jason busted my chops several times,
Yeah, he's
even
busting your
today.
chops right now.
Yeah, even today, it is the 24th,
Oh my
not the
gosh.
23rd.
Get your dates right, Yates. September 16th is our
Get
event,
the
right?
date.
It is our
What?
event, right? September 16th,
September
the
16th
Masonic
is
Summit.
our.
You're sure?
That's. I
Okay.
am positive.
Okay. Good. So we got a few comments here. Dan Best.
And if you
So
don't believe me, ask Mike King down in Corpus Christi.
Dan Best says, should I contact my Grand Lodge now, or is it just kind of lost? Yeah, contact your Grand Lodge, man. Don't
Yeah,
if you it
brother
just
Best. I didn't.
be
Yeah, I didn't
proactive.
see the.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, man. If you're having trouble getting things sorted out, and if your lodge isn't taking care of business, take it up through your Grand Lodge, or reach out if you got
Yeah,
district deputies or whatever, and you know who they are, like whoever your district representative is. Reach out to them first, and then move up the Grand Lodge.
yeah. I
But
didn't see that brother at Grand Lodge this weekend. I thought I was going to see him, and he didn't make it.
yeah.
So I apologize that I did not see him and talk to him about you. I apologize, brother or Mr. Best.
James Kirkpatrick says Anthony is a true hero. He served as DDGM of the Grand Council in 2019, and I had the privilege to tell his story at Grand Council. Not a dry eye. He was stationed at a place of honor during his session. So I wish I had been there for that because that sounds like that was very, very moving. Um, RTZW says he's joining the York Rite next weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Man, you are in for something. Those degrees are fantastic. Particularly, the Royal Arch is one of my favorite. But the Past Master is also a really fun degree. I say fun, but I
I
mean
like.
it's definitely an important lesson taught during it. But it's a
I was gonna say I'm a Mark Master guy. I love it.
yeah,
I
Mark
think
Master's
that
good.
that's just Mark Master just kind of makes you feel like you're connected with the
Yeah.
world.
And
You know,
Cody Moore says, "What's up, my brothers? What's up, Cody? Good to see you, brother." I
if
do want
I
to
so
share a quick story about a Mark Master. So the weekend before last, we had a festival at Hillsboro Chapter and Council, and one of the companions there brought his Mark Master coin that his granddad gave him, or it was passed down from his granddad. And so he was showing everybody it, but he was kind of I think I told this story. He was a little bit
yes,
disappointed because it was so old that the mark had wore off. And I suggested that, hey, let's just see if we can find the mark book because if he was a member of Hillsboro, we might have it. And sure enough, some of the brothers found the old mark book that had his name in it, and it had the mark that was originally on the coin. And so it was just really cool having that moment where he saw his granddad's mark that he had no idea what it was before that.
I don't have a story that cool, but but I had a similar story when I went to Dallas after I went to Dallas for training for something for AT&T, and I went up there, and the trainer happened to be a Mason, and he was a member of Dallas 760, and took me upstairs to look through all the different cards in the file box.
Mm-hmm.
And I found my grandfather's card, his card showing all of his dues paid and all that. Because back then they used to have it on index cards, back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And so I got to see that and hold it, look at it. It's just kind of cool stuff. That's always awesome to see that real history come to life. Yeah.
So were you talking about Seguin just a minute ago? On the 24th? All right, so yeah, Anthony was saying Seguin will be doing chapter, council, and Commander on 24th and 25th of February. So yeah.
Yes.
Sean Rothberg says he took a knife and etched his mark into his coin. I could see him doing that with a knife. Sean, you're a little emo, buddy. I could just see you listening to some angry music with your black painted fingernails. Just jabbing your coin,
funny.
Putting the mark in it.
Right. That's funny. That is awesome.
Yeah. David Bendel says, to this day, no one knows which way to pronounce Anthony's last name. Well, that's good. I don't feel bad. I feel better about it then. Son Rothberg says, at Dallas Scottish Rite, I found my great uncle's card. I did research and found that my great uncle was raised in Kentucky. Didn't know they allowed Jews in that state. I don't know. Actually, I'm not aware of any state. Well, I mean, maybe it's just something I'm oblivious of, but I'm not aware of any state that was ever really preventing Jewish people from joining. I mean, the only prohibition I ever knew about people joining was like the obvious, like the racial thing. Yeah. So Rada Artist says, so Master Mason with your skulls and sad music. Yeah. Yeah, I guess as Masons, if we like skulls, we're all a little emo, aren't we?
Yep.
Maybe that's why.
I definitely came from that background.
Maybe that's why the past masters don't like skulls, because they don't like emo kids.
They don't like black fingernails.
Yeah, Sean. Oh, Cabello. Okay, thank you, Anthony. Cabello.
Yeah. Yes, kind of like Cabela, except Cabello.
Yeah. By the way, we got so many people that have hopped in. I just wanted to again point out my awesome Masonic Improvement hat and the shirt that goes with it. He also had like t-shirts and long sleeve shirts with the emblem on it. So
yeah, this is one of the long sleeve shirts.
What's your website again? Squareimage.us.com.
Squareimageus.com.
All right, I post a link. So if anyone is interested in some Masonic Improvement swag, definitely check that out, man. Speaking of swag, dude, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to I'm not getting paid to promote these guys or anything like that. But like Fossil Bluff, dude, has some awesome
Fossil
stuff.
Bluff has got it going on. Yeah,
that is, and I don't mean to like say like other vendors weren't equally good, but man, Fossil Bluff's the real deal. They got completely original, awesome stuff, and that is. I
love their shadow box with the 3 different square and compasses, and the last one having the skull and bones like this in the back. It's awesome. It's a beautiful shadow box. If you want something nice to put on your wall, that's what you want to get.
So David Bendel, and this is David, not me. He says most, or perhaps even all, of the past Grand Masters brought their skulls with them to Grand Lodge. Yeah, maybe. That's David's words, not mine.
Right?
Yeah. I don't want to go there, David, because there's a very thin leash keeping me from saying my real thoughts.
You are not allowed, David. You are not allowed to be all zen on Facebook and then unleash the beast on my podcast. I'm telling you, you are not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you're kind of contradicting yourself, aren't you?
That's funny. That's awesome.
So Dan Best says, I will definitely be getting some clothes from the two of you. Obviously, I'm going to wait until I'm a Freemason. Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yes.
So, by the way, RTZW made a comment and it made me think of something because someone was asking about activities you could do, right? So he says,
So many
hold
activities.
on, kid. Calm down. Calm down. So he says, even after hearing about the Indian degree team from Oklahoma, it inspired me to consider making a Star Trek parody of the third degree, the space degree. Which, frankly, if someone wanted to do the third degree in Star Trek costumes, I'd be interested in seeing it. But
That'd be cool.
what really got me on a tangent when you said that was the lodges that do like degrees in unique places. Those are always interesting, right? So like the Lexington we talked about, that's going to be following our conference, the Masonic Improvement, the Masonic Summit. That's a unique degree. So my point is, like, if you live somewhere where you could do like a mountaintop degree, or a cave degree, or just an outdoor degree, or something like that, those are always really popular. And it's not really an activity per se because it's not something you're doing outside what you normally do. But why not change it up if you can, man? Do an EA degree um, on a summit or something. Do a Master Mason's degree in a graveyard. No, don't
You
really
know
do
what?
that. Don't
You know
really
what
do
would be
that, but
cool?
I think it'd be
You,
cool.
you know what would be cool is if you lived near Area 51 and you made the master Buzz Aldrin and made all the rest of them the people from Star Trek. That would be awesome.
Hmm.
That would be a cool.
I don't think Buzz Aldrin was in Star Trek, Dennis. Like
I know,
I'm
but
not a huge Trekkie, but or we could do
you know
Star
what
Wars and the
do you
Tyler
know
Sword as a
do you know who
lightsaber.
Buzz Aldrin is?
Yes, I
Do
know.
you, do, you- do you
Yes,
even know who
yes,
he is?
yes, Dennis. I know. I
Okay,
know.
then it would be like him going to their world. And never.
Oh, okay. Um,
See what I deal with, guys. No
Zachary Smith
imagination.
says, "Hey guys, love your live streams. Thank you, Zachary. Thank you for hopping in, brother. Uh,
Thank you, brother.
yeah, yeah. I would just. Oh yeah, Tyler Smith says cemetery degree. So there's a
Oh yes,
stop. So there's a ghost town outside of Hillsboro, right? It's not a town anymore, but it used to have a lodge. And before they had a lodge building, they met at the cemetery. And a brother that's on the what is that, the committee for the cemetery. Um,
right.
it had gotten pretty far gone, I guess. So they were cleaning it up, and he uncovered there was like looks like an altar. What's this? What's this doing here? And then he found stations for the east and the south and the west. So they had it set up out there, and they probably also used it for like Lodge of Sorrow and stuff like that. But the story is, before they had a building actually established in town that they could meet at, they met at the cemetery. And I'm just
That'd
saying,
be
man,
awesome.
Master Mason's degree in a cemetery. I mean, the skull haters would lose their minds over something like that. But that would be probably the coolest Master Mason's degree.
It'd be a lot better than a than a Confederate. I can tell you
Yeah, yeah.
that. it,
Or a spooky Halloween degree. That could be.
that
You just have to.
that'd be fun.
Some of these things, I think you have to be careful. Just be sure you have to run it by the proper channels, right? Like obviously, you're not just going to do a Master Mason's degree in a cemetery without running
Yeah,
it by
you
the
need
proper channels.
dispensation. You
Yeah,
got to have
you need
dispensation.
dispensation. But if like a Halloween degree, like wearing masks and stuff, again, that's probably something you'd have to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd
you're
run it up the
changing the
line just
work.
to be safe. You're not changing the work.
Yeah,
You're
you're
just changing
changing.
your costume. You're
Well,
changing your appearance.
well, floor school. The floor work is just as important as the ritual. I don't care what anybody says. The
Well,
floor
who
work
said
is
anything
just.
about changing the floor work? You're not changing anything. It's just what you're wearing changes. Graveyard initiation. Yeah. Yeah. Or in a cave or on a summit.
I don't. I don't. Yeah, I think the outdoor. I think the oddball degrees are better outdoors or better as master mason degrees and not. I think the one offs are better as master mason degree or
Yeah.
sometimes maybe a fellow craft. But I don't know about the EA. I think the EA is just your. It's really your introduction into your brotherhood. It's not so much about everything else around you.
Yeah. Um, Sean Rothberg says, do a Master Mason degree in Overlook Hotel. I don't know what that is, man. I don't know what the Overlook Hotel is, but there are some hotels that are what is it like? What's that one we were talking about that I asked you about? That's in
Probably one of those
Grapevine.
ghost hotels.
Yeah, what's the one in Grapevine that we were talking about? Oh, that's not a ghost hotel though. It's just really big.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just a
but if
beautiful
there's
hotel.
like a haunted hotel or something, that'd be cool. So James Kirkpatrick says costumes are permitted in a degree, and I've seen brothers wear the costumes, like
Well,
the
the
costumes,
real
but
ones, yeah,
not like dressed like a werewolf or something though. But
right.
it would be different. It'd be interesting.
You know what was kind of cool that happened this weekend that nobody knew about during the Grand Lodge at the Nexus Center where
There's
we
lots of
were
stuff going
selling.
on at Grand Lodge I don't know about right now.
I know, but where we were
Sorry,
selling our
sorry, sorry.
stuff and where we were all set up the pop-up shop Sunday or Saturday afternoon before the installation they had a podcast. They had two podcasts set up for the ghost hunting in Waco. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I got to go to this installation and they're doing ghost hunting in Waco. I would have loved to have just sat down and watched that and learned about all the ghost hunting in Waco. That was so cool. And it talk about something that goes with, the eeriness of Freemasonry,
So
right?
talking about something like an activity that you could do that might be fun. I don't know that you get to be as fun with a big group, but if you did it around Halloween, most lodges are pretty old buildings, right? So if you got a handful of brothers and you did like a ghost hunt in your lodge, might be pretty cool. You probably won't
You
see
got to get
anything, but
dispensation for that. Yeah, you got to get
what are you
dispensation.
talking about?
You got to get
To
dispensation.
walk around your lodge at night and record it?
If you're doing, oh, okay, a ghost hunting, okay.
Yeah, what'd you think I was talking
I
about?
Okay. There was a lodge that did like a haunted house in their lodge, and they got in trouble.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, or
Oh,
yeah, exactly right. And
okay.
we did a cakewalk an hour so during Halloween one year. Did trick or treating in our lodge, and nobody got in trouble. But
Yeah. Well, maybe if
a
you
couple
just
years
avoid the
ago,
lodge room then, just to be safe. Who knows? Like it's one of
yeah,
those things where it probably just depends on who's in charge at the time and who hears about it. Um,
right.
Dan Best says, "Do either of you know any sort of Masonic practices with Viking practices or shamanism?" No, I don't. There's no. It's not a thing. Like, how do I say this? Like, there's no the Masonic practices themselves. At least, I'm talking from a Texas perspective. They're pretty like the degree you receive is the same degree everyone else receives. Um, Now that's not to
What
say
what
like
did
if you
he
have
what
a
did he ask?
that's not to say
I
you
didn't
have
understand that.
if you have like a specific book of faith or something. A lot of lodges will let you have that book of faith like for your obligation and stuff. He says, "Do either of you know any sort of Masonic practices with Viking practices or shamanism?"
Viking,
Yeah, man.
Viking.
Come from the land
My
of the
son,
Icelands, no.
yeah. My son has not joined because he really thinks that the he's into the old Thor legends and stuff like that, and so he
One of the brothers at my lodge
and there
is into
and
that kind of
there's
stuff.
actually a book of faith for it, and
Yeah.
he just feels like the lodge wouldn't accept him because of the way that the lodges are.
Nonsense. That's nonsense.
It depends on which lodge you're at.
It does,
So
but then again, my lodge is really rural and no one really cares that he's like that he has that faith. But my
Well,
lodge is pretty awesome.
that book. Waco has that book for their altar. They have it on their shelf so
Oh,
they
do
can
they?
put it on their altar. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Waco 90.
RTZW says, "Isn't there a Swedish rite in Sweden?" Yes, but we don't talk about it
Yes,
because you never get invited if you talk about it. So we don't talk about it, but it's there.
because
It
because it
exists.
requires a lot of work. It
Yeah.
requires years and years and years to get through the degrees.
Yes. Yeah. Ask Motz about it if you know who Motz is. If I think he was here earlier.
Yes.
I don't know if he's still here, but yeah, ask Motz about it.
Yeah, Mats is actually yeah, he's like fourth or fifth or sixth degree or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe seventh.
It's a
He's
little
he,
more rigorous. Tyler
yeah.
Smith says he wants to have a murder mystery dinner Well, do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Put
Yeah,
it
that'd be
together.
cool.
Put it
That'd be
together,
cool.
and if you build it, they will come, man. That sounds good.
That'd be fun. Now that'd be a cool fundraiser. That'd
Yeah,
be a cool fundraiser.
yeah. Just don't. Just
And
yeah.
whoever finds the body gets to keep the skull.
Nice, nice.
There's your catch, buddy.
Yeah, as long as you believe in a supreme being, though, it doesn't matter what your faith is. As long as it's not. I mean, I say it doesn't matter. Like if you say, "Oh, I'm Luciferian and I worship the devil," most lodges, like technically, yeah, you qualify, but most lodges probably won't vote you in. But other than that, like, yeah, man. I mean, as long as you have a belief in a supreme being, go for it. So if you wanted to do Viking religion, I would have to be. If I want to do Viking religion, I have to be careful Freemasonry because I'm a lot like your son when it comes to those. Uh, I would say it really depends on your lodge, Dan. Like I was saying, like
Yeah, just you gotta just look around.
I have a Viking brother. He wears Thor's hammer around his neck, and it has never come up in my lodge. I don't think either no one cares enough, they're respectful enough. I say they don't care. What I mean to say is we're respectful enough of each other's faith that it doesn't. I don't even know what denomination or faith is. Any of the rest of my brothers are at my lodge. We don't talk about it, right? And
Right,
so I
right.
mean, really, there's no reason for it to come up.
Really, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
You know, the Freemasonry is a spiritual kind of an awakening in self. It doesn't have anything to do with religion. It has to
yeah.
do with you and
I
God,
mean, there's lots
you
of
and your relation.
there's references to a higher power all throughout
Yeah,
everything, but
yeah, but
it's not
it's
necessarily
a specific one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Ryder Arter says the cool thing is you don't have to openly discuss your religion. You'll find other brothers can have open discussions about it. Yeah, I mean, some brothers are comfortable talking about it, and they do outside the lodge setting. But I mean, I've been doing this almost 20 years, and I can think of a handful of times when like a denomination has even come up. Like the only reason I know Sean is Jewish is because we had an entire episode just about Jewish Freemasonry. The only reason I know Kadim's faith, if Kadim's still here, is because it came up in a conversation about commandery. There's a handful of times anyone's ever even come up. It's not something that you're not going to be alienated because of it. Let's put it that way.
Right. Well, you shouldn't be. I like to talk to people about their religions just so I understand them. I
Mhm.
want to understand my brothers. I don't use it as something to separate me. I use it for something to find the commonalities. That's what I do. And it's not that's not necessarily the basis of Freemasonry, but we are brothers and we meet upon the level. So why
Yeah.
can't we talk about these things and get to know each other and understand? If you're not strong enough in your own faith to talk to somebody else about their faith, what does that say about your faith, right?
Zachary Smith
So
says, "Do either of y'all know anything about Western New York Freemason? I think it's New York, NY Freemasonry. I'm looking to join a local lodge around me. Um, yeah, I don't
there's a
personally.
couple of different there's a couple of different there's a couple of different things up there. I don't know a lot about it, but there are like two different fashions, if you would
Zachary,
say
what
fashions.
I would probably recommend doing if you wanted to have conversation with New York Freemasons, there's probably a Facebook page out there, right? And so,
Yeah.
see, I mean, I'm someone said hi to you earlier, so I presume you're like a master mason, like the way they created you. So you could probably get into a group and say, "Hey, I'm moving into the area, or I live in the area, and I'm looking for options for local lodges," and go that way. By the way, do we have anyone lined up for our next interview this week, Dennis?
No, I need to get somebody, I guess.
Let's reach out to Sean for that conversation we've been talking about, if that works for you.
Okay, sure.
All right,
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Rothberg, you'll be
Sean
you'll be
Work is he
receiving
is he
an
on?
anonymous email or message soon, but not from us. But it'll be anonymous and foreboding, but you should respond to it. Dun dun dun. So yeah, we'll have that conversation if that works for him. We'll have that conversation that
Hopefully,
we've been talking
it's
about.
a dun 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 and not
Uh, oh, Kadeem is here. So, isn't there some bad history with New York Freemasonry? I don't know, man.
there
I
was
don't
some craziness going on in New York
probably I don't yeah.
years ago,
That's not unusual, is it? But
years ago.
yeah, I don't keep up with other jurisdictions like a whole lot, just because there's enough going on here right now. But I don't usually keep up with other jurisdictions. Zachary Smith says yes, New York. I'm not a Mason at all yet. Just started a new job. I watched a video you made years ago suggesting you have a few bucks before becoming a Mason, so here I am. Awesome, Zachary. Um,
Very cool.
what I would do if you're in that situation and you're looking to join, I mentioned this earlier, but I don't guess you probably didn't hop on yet. Um, what you should probably do is determine how far you're willing to travel, and of course, depending on where you're at in Fort Worth, I mean not Fort Worth, where you're at in New York will really determine how far you have to travel to find the lodge. But draw a radius. If you're willing to travel 30 minutes, to say, look, I'm looking within a 30-minute radius. Go to Google Maps, type in Masonic lodges, and then write down all the Masonic lodges nearby. Google them, be sure they're legit. Find out their meeting times and everything. Show up probably like 30 minutes before the meeting time and introduce yourself. Tell them you're interested in joining, and visit all these lodges. Visit all of them, right? They'll probably give you petitions or whatever. Take them, be polite, but you don't have to turn anything in. Visit all these lodges and find out which ones you feel most at home at, which ones you enjoy the most, and then go from there and start the process from there. Sean Rothberg says, Zachary, I know several brothers in New York. Contact me on Facebook. Yeah, man. So, yeah,
Great.
contact Sean.
Do it that way.
Yeah, do it that way too.
Yes.
Get with Sean, find some contacts, and ask them like what lodges are good. Maybe find out what you're looking for, what they offer. That's a great approach too.
Make sure they're either free and accepted or ancient free and accepted, or Prince Hall if that's what you want to do. But I would say, make sure they're free and accepted or ancient free and accepted. That way, you're getting an actual affiliated lodge.
That's great. So James says there was one unsanctioned police Masonic ceremony where a brother was accidentally killed by shooting the wrong gun in New York. I think I remember hearing about that. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? But I remember hearing about something like that. Zachary Smith says, thanks for the info.
Didn't that start the Morgan affair?
No. The Morgan affair was... The Morgan affair, so let me see. He wrote just an expose, and then he turned up missing. And that's the Morgan affair. He disappeared, so everyone assumed that's because the Masons came and got him.
That's right.
So I guess I am a little bit of a historian. You didn't know that, did you?
Oh my gosh.
So Code Bueno, heard one of you mention being in a rural lodge. What is your lodge doing to make itself visible enough to the community to draw in new candidates? Frankly, online stuff, Facebook, being active, posting things. We're still active in the community physically, like we do an annual fish fry, which it is what it is. So we do the fish fry. We do scholarships. We actually had and Dennis kind of hinted at this earlier. We did a lunch on Thanksgiving for just whoever, like the homeless, or just whoever wants to come grab some food.
And Christmas.
Yeah, well, I'm telling the story, and then on Christmas we did the same thing,
I know it.
But we also did it for first responders. Like we focused on first responders, and so things like that.
I don't like doing fundraisers to get attention. I'd rather just.
Well, this wasn't a fundraiser. Yeah, it was just us giving.
Right. Those two were just giving. Yeah.
That was actually, if he's still here, that was Tyler Smith. Brother over on Facebook. Those were his ideas, the lunches, and they were like really big successes. So hats off to Tyler for that. Great job.
But I can tell you for sure that I started the Facebook pages for all of the lodges that I belong to, and a couple more, as well as websites for both. Remember, Facebook is rented, and it's only given to you if Facebook gives it to you. So get your own website as well and lead people to the website. So
Yeah.
I've received more people. There were 3 or 4 Master Masons made in one of my lodges this year that were strictly all from the website.
Hmm.
All of them. They came in, they had dinner several months in a row, they got a petition, and then they became Master or Masons, and then eventually in fact, last week they just finished the last Master Mason for this year,
Yeah.
and it
Um,
started that way. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
so RTZW says, I thought it was something 100 years ago where a guy in New York wrote a book to release the secrets of masonry and then disappeared. There was a claim he was kidnapped and killed. I don't know if that was in New York, but I think that's the Morgan affair that you're talking about.
Right. That's the
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
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 David Bindle says
That's
he's
it.
going
Now,
to bed. Well, good night, David. Thanks for hopping in, brother. Good to see you.
David, thank you for hopping in, and brother, welcome to South Texas. We love you. We're glad you're here. We need you. So I can't wait to see you
Yeah.
soon.
Um, where are we at? I'm just going down the conversation. So Tyler Smith's on YouTube now. He says this year we're also giving a ton of awards at the high school that require full regalia. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
that's good.
We
That's
have
good.
to get dispensation
Yeah,
to
I was
do
gonna
that,
say,
but
can
that's
you do that? Can you wear full regalia
yeah,
without dispensation?
we have to have dispensation in Texas to do that.
Okay, but either way, I mean,
But that's the
being
but
being
that's the way
present.
you ought to do it.
Yeah,
That's the way you ought to do it.
yeah. Like if you can be in a parade, do it in regalia, man. But I will say this: like if you have a strong commandery, the commandery uniforms just lend themselves to parades, man. Like
Oh yeah. Oh
they are
yeah.
required to give them. The regalia is required to give the awards. I'm curious what awards you're talking about, Tyler. But I'm not trying to disagree. I'm just curious. Um,
Is it in Texas? Where
oh
are
yeah,
you at,
he's at my
Tyler?
lodge. He's at my lodge. To
What?
to give a Lamar Award in the junior. What's the junior award? To give the
That's
Lamar.
not required.
Uh, yeah, I give the Lamar Award, and we didn't do it. We didn't do it regalia. I don't know,
No,
Tyler. I double check that. I'm not saying you're
Tyler, you
wrong.
got
I would
dispensation. I'm
yeah,
saying
just
that
double
you're
check
wrong.
it.
You got to get dispensation.
Just to be
Don't
safe.
listen to him. He's going to get you in trouble.
Listen to who? He says it's in the law book.
You,
So, what
I would make sure.
do you happen to know? Do you happen to know? Just again, I try to put you on the spot. Do you happen to know where in the law book? Just so I can look sometime. I'm not trying to be disagreeable or
Yeah, tell
anything.
me because I'll look it up right now.
I'm genuinely curious because this is the first time I've heard
Yeah,
about it. Um,
yeah,
because
because
I did it wrong. If that's
I've
the
always
case, sending it
I've
to me
always
now.
been told you have to have dispensation to get to wear your regalia outside the lodge.
Yeah. Charles Smith is back. He had to take care of some things. Welcome, Charles.
Charles, ask Charles. He probably knows. He probably knows.
He's okay. Here we go. Tyler's sending it to me, and then Zach Smith says, "I started a new job as a web programmer for a big bank, and my lodge needs me to. I would definitely make a sweet website. Man, we may get a hold of you too. We're talking about upgrading our
Exactly.
website, but let's see here. Let me pull up what Tyler sent me here.
Are you kidding me?
No, he really sent
You
me
know how
something.
you know how I know you're.
No, don't do that. All right, let's see here.
I didn't.
Okay. Okay. So what he sent me, I'm just going to read it if no one cares. Article 14F, the Honesty and Integrity Award. Grand Lodge hereby establishes the Honesty and Integrity Award to be presented to outstanding high school juniors in the following manner. So that's the junior award he's talking about.
I wanna. Yeah.
He's also looking at the Lamar one. Subordinate lodges may formally recognize those high school juniors who have distinguished themselves by possessing the qualities to become future community leaders. At the commencement of the school year, the participating lodge shall contact the principals, get the names. I'm just going to skim through it before we get to the part. Let's see. The names shall be presented at stated meetings. The award shall be presented in an open meeting of the lodge or in a non-Masonic setting, preferably at the involved school, with emphasis on attendance by the community and parents involved. The ceremony should be carefully planned and presented with great dignity, the presentation being made by a Mason and with all Masons wearing aprons.
Nice.
So not really full regalia. I think that's what confused me because full regalia to
Yeah,
me is
yeah.
like the worship master wearing
But
his collar and everything. But yeah, I
right.
mean wearing
But
your aprons makes sense.
but maybe huh.
I mean it says it right here.
Yeah.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing. Here's the thing. I
But
mean
I
he's looking.
wonder if that's an award you have to get from Grand Lodge though. If you have
Well,
to get it from them, then they know.
I mean this is in the law book. It looks like. But what's interesting is if
Well,
hold
you
on,
know how you
hold
get
on,
the
hold on, hold on,
certificate and
hold
everything?
on. I'm just saying, if you're giving this away and you're already wearing your apron, who's going to nitpick for you giving your Lamar scholarship away in the apron? You know, I mean, I gave this away, so I was wearing the apron. What was I supposed to do? But that's interesting. I think this is a newer award, isn't it? Was this established last year?
It may have because before they used to give the Lamar Award to the juniors, but the
Well, no.
Lamar should really be given to a person, a staff member. It shouldn't be given to a student.
So as Tyler says, you buy them, but each lodge can give them. So kind of like the other awards, I assume. Where you buy them through the Grand Lodge, the Grand Secretary.
Yeah, so that's what I meant is that when you buy them, they know that you're doing it. So then it kind of
Yeah.
assumes permission.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, for regalia, I think like your colors.
no, I don't think so.
You don't think so? What? Because I hadn't finished my sentence.
I don't think you can wear collars in public without dispensation.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You
I
interrupted
know,
me. You didn't
I know.
know. But like for aprons,
I know what
I
you're
see.
gonna
I thought you
say.
had to have dispensation to wear aprons and stuff too, like in parades. But I guess
Yeah,
if the Grand Lodge law says to do an apron, you do an apron.
right, right.
So it's interesting. I mean, I learned something.
But at the same time, if you're applying for that scholarship or that award, they're gonna know anyway.
Yeah.
So
So Dan Best says, I will call my Grand Lodge tomorrow to do the two of you have any advice for what to say and what not to say? Man, just be straightforward. Just
just tell
explain
them you're
this.
interested in joining.
Is I thought he was already a Mason, Dan Best. I thought he was having trouble getting
No,
reinstated. Oh,
no.
that's right. Okay, yeah. So okay, yeah, yeah. So call the Grand Lodge and say, look, I'm interested in joining. I reached out to a local lodge. Say how long it's been, and you haven't heard anything back. You'd like to start the process somewhere, and ask them for what advice. Like, is there another lodge you would recommend, or is the contact information for this lodge bad? Do you have a better way to get a hold of them? And then just yeah, speak plainly, like Charles Smith. Speak plainly. They're here to help you, right? They want to see you be
Yes,
successful. All right, so I have the Lamar Award here. Also, let me pull that up. Go
I
ahead.
meant to look at something else earlier. I need to get on my law book as well. Give me while y'all are talking.
Okay. All right.
The Lamar Award can be given to anybody,
See, let me just read this. So,
but
Article 240, appearing in public. Okay. No
okay.
lodge shall appear in public procession or make any public display as a Masonic body except to, and it goes on like the Masonic funeral is an example. Events announcing or presenting Masonic scholarship awards, or um, let me be
Oh,
sure,
so you can
or
do it
the
with
Marabou B. Lamar Award of Excellence in Education presentation.
nice.
Any other public display or procession requires specific dispensation for the Grand Master, as blah blah blah. Um, yeah. So interesting. So my question is, if this would stop jumping all over the place here, what exactly is the definition of making a public display as a Masonic body? Right? Is it is it aprons regalia? I mean, I've literally I don't spend a lot of time looking at that part of the law book, right? So that's on me, I guess. But I learned it some stuff today. So, but my point
Yep,
is,
you
even
sure.
if it's not talking about aprons during the Lamar Award specifically, if you're already giving something away and you're already wearing an apron, they're not going to expect you to take it off and leave it there, right?
Right.
Yeah, and Tyler is our junior warden, so he's pretty familiar with the law book. So good on you, Tyler. And like I said, I wasn't trying to question you. I was curious. News to me. Let's look here. What else we got here? Um, you're being awfully quiet, Dennis.
That's because somebody had told me earlier that they wanted to invoke Article 36,
What's
and
they told you?
I am not going to repeat that online what that article entails, but it's interesting that they brought that up.
They brought it up,
but
where?
it has to. They brought it up earlier today in a conversation that I was having with some people.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you suddenly got quiet.
I know it just reminded me to read it, and I read it, and I thought, and then I saw it, and I thought, ooh, I do not want to talk about this online. Article 36.
Well, you know what I'm about to do now.
I do not want to discuss what it is, but that was interesting that somebody found it and brought it to my attention. But anyways, yeah, Lamar Awards, in my opinion, while you're looking that up, Lamar Awards, in my opinion, really should be given to people of the education system that work hard for our kids. Yeah. So, in fact, we gave our last one, we gave it to and we usually go to the administrators and ask who their best assets are, right? And one of them was a teacher, and the other one we chose on our own, and it was one of the ladies that works at the front office. You know, she's worked there for 30 years. She's always had a smiling face every time anybody comes in. You know, one of the clerks in the office, and she's like a mom to all the kids. And so we wanted to give her an award because when the kids come to that high school, they feel loved by this one person. And that's talk about, you know, encouragement of the education system. That's one of the things that kept me in school after I left school and then came back. That's what kept me in school was the love of the teacher. Did you just read it?
Yep.
Did you just read it?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. It's funny.
Yeah.
But you know, the love of the teachers is what really, kept me.
Said too much, Dennis.
Kept me there.
We've said too much.
Hey, I didn't say.
We crossed the line.
I didn't say what it was. I just said what somebody had mentioned to me. It just in passing today. It was, and I hadn't read it yet. I read it and I was like, oh, I don't want to, define that one.
Yeah.
That's not one that I'm.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's another conversation outside of this.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation later after we shut this down.
Yeah, Tyler, you definitely do not what? I'm sorry, I was reading. I didn't hear what you're talking about. Yeah, it is. It's very broad, but it is.
Oh, that
36.
The one on the Lamar.
No, Sean said 36 is interesting. Yeah. No, Order 36. That's the one that gave the order for
okay.
The
tacos.
No.
Tacos.
Hey, let me talk. It's what turned the clone army against the Jedi. It was Order 36. That's what he's talking about. From Star Wars. The clone army. Dennis. Order. Yeah. No, it was definitely. We were talking about Order 36 RTZW, not.
What Star Wars did you grow up in? I stopped at Star Wars 3, guys.
Star Wars 3. So you stopped.
The Empire Strikes Back.
No, that's not
Star Wars.
Strikes
Back.
See, Dennis,
no, Return of the Jedi.
That's not Star Wars.
Return of the Jedi. Give up the numbers, dude. There was Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Those are the only 3 that ever mattered in the world.
No.
The rest of them were just fillers for you millennials, so you'd have something to see.
You have Star Wars 1, which we don't talk about. and then what was it?
Because
Attack of
it
the
was never meant
Clones,
to be.
and then Revenge of the Sith. I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
those two out of the three are very good, very important, and so Order 36. That's what it was. That's the
You
whole.
know,
That's the whole thing we've been talking about is execute Order
when I was
36.
5 years old, I went and saw Star Wars. I did not care about Return of the Sith. I was very happy just seeing them get mashed up in the goop in the trash compactor. That was just the most awesome thing I've ever seen in
No,
my
Sean.
life.
No, Sean. You have to watch it in the machete sequence. So the machete sequence is you watch one. No, I'm sorry. You watch four and then five, and then two and three and six. You never even watch
See,
episode one.
Sean, you see this, Sean?
You never even watch
Sean,
episode one.
you're putting me on the cross. Leave it alone.
So
Leave it
you
alone.
watch A New Hope, Return of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then you watch Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then Return of the Jedi, in that order. That's the order you watch it in. Jar Jar Binks was the great. We don't talk about Jar Jar. We don't talk about Jar Jar. Of course, unless you go with
you
the.
can't even talk like Jar Jar.
If
If
you
you
go
can
with
talk
the
like Jar Jar, you can talk about
Darth Jar Jar. Yeah, if you go with some of the expanded lore where Jar Jar was actually a Sith Lord all along, that kind of redeems him. But I didn't know we were going to go down this rabbit hole with this conversation.
You know, if we're gonna talk about sci-fi badass fiction, we're gonna talk about Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Who did not like the mashed potato mountain
Never saw
that
that.
was made?
But the fourth kind was a very good movie. The fourth kind.
You
Was
you
good.
you don't remember?
No, I've never seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Never saw it.
Y'all have
Let's see.
you non-millennials know what I'm talking about, and that was an awesome flick, wasn't it?
Charles
Sure
Smith
was.
says we squirreled hard to get from the law book to Star Wars. Yeah, we did. We saved ourselves though.
Well, you saw where we were in the law.
Execute Order 36.
For good reason.
Yeah. But maybe it's kind of funny, just kind of a almost like a parallel between 36 between Order 66 and Article 36. But anyway,
Why did bring it back?
Close Encounters of the Third
back
Mason.
parachute pants. We do not need to do it.
Close Encounter of the Third Degree. I may not have to look up Article 36. Whoa.
Nice.
I mean, that's on you. I'm talking about Order 36 from Star Wars. So if you look up Article 36 and it says something totally different but somehow relevant to things going on, that's totally isolated and nothing coming from us at all. Justin was like, left turn, Clyde. Here we
The
are.
views
Yeah.
by the hosts on this show do not reflect those of any Grand Lodge, any Grand Officer, any Grand whatever, any order.
You
Besides
know
Order
where I'm at, man.
Besides Order 36.
I'm not trying to drag anybody down with me. Kadeem says he has a question. You may ask. I will permit it.
Thank you, Kadeem.
I will
I'm
permit
grateful.
it, Kadeem. Is it about Star Wars? While we're waiting on Kadeem, RTZW says, I represent the Zoomer generation, and I would say Stargate is better than Star Wars.
Yes!
Stargate's good.
Yes!
I enjoy Stargate, especially the first episodes where there was just casual nudity. But
zig.
I would say Stargate has one movie, and it's a B film, so it's not as good as Star Wars. So Kadeem says, this is an interesting question.
Okay, good.
Kadeem says,
thank you, Kadeem.
Why do brothers associate Star Wars so much with brotherhood? I am a Star Wars fan and not the series fan, but he never understood. Because being a Jedi, this is my interpretation, being a Jedi is all about overcoming temptation, right? There's a dark side to the Force, and it's if you're not careful, it will overcome you and overwhelm you, right? Being a Jedi is basically like a warrior monk, right? You know what else? Who else were warrior monks? The Templar, the Knights Templar. And so I think there's a strong reason there's a parallel. It's because as Masons, we are trying to overcome that darkness, right? We're trying to overcome, and the darkness is within us and outside us. We're trying to overcome it in both ways.
Now, Kadeem, you want to know the real story? Now for the rest of the story. The dark. Okay, so there's the dark force and the light force. It all works together, and the real Jedi knows how to do both.
The Gray Jedi are
Both.
actually non-canon anymore, Dennis. So I'm just saying. Anyway,
I'm just gonna sit and pick my nose for a while.
boilerplate
While y'all
disclaimer. We were just talking. We don't know about what. We don't hold ourselves accountable. Don't hold us accountable. Yeah. Adam Olivier says Star Trek is 100% better, superior to Stargate and Star Wars. Y'all are whack. Adam, I knew there was
Star Trek
something.
is awesome. I like Star Trek, yes, but you know,
So Brad says, "What are the origins of the lodge?" I assume you mean like Freemasonry. Um, we don't really know.
a
To
good
be
question.
honest,
Thank
like if like historians like to have answers, right? So the historians will say 1717, 1717, the first Grand Lodge was formed, and everything just appeared out of a vacuum from that point, right? Historically, we really know that's not the case. There's evidence of lodges being in existence 100 years, 200 years before the first Grand Lodge ever formed, but they weren't like we have evidence or references to them, but in many cases we don't know their names, and they didn't number themselves like we do today, and so we know that they existed, but we don't know much more than that. Um, Jason Rockenberg says,
well.
"Here, I'll help get discussion off Article 36. Will there be cool people at the Masonic Improvement at the Masonic Summit?" Yes,
Well,
there
I'll
will
be
be.
there.
We will
Yeah.
have we have several brothers that have already put their names in to come speak. I don't know if we're at the point where we're announcing speakers yet, but I'm excited
Yeah.
to hear
And
them speak.
until we
And
have topics, I don't want to announce
yeah,
names. So
and we
yeah.
also have it on good authority that there will probably be representatives from hopefully Grand Lodge of Texas, but also
Mexico,
Grand Lodge of Mexico, Grand Lodge of New Mexico, Grand Lodge of
okay,
Oklahoma,
Arkansas.
Arkansas, Louisiana. It's gonna be a good time,
Maybe
man.
not Louisiana, but I'm working on them still. So.
Zachary Smith just became a booster. Thank you so much, Zachary. Definitely appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Is that
Definitely appreciate you taking the leap.
is it Zachary or Zach?
Zachary says Zachary Smith.
Zachary.
Zachary
Well,
Smith.
I didn't ask you. Everybody spells their names
Well,
the
you're
way it
not even
is.
on the YouTube chat. You wouldn't know.
Mm,
If I mean, you're getting your info from me. I'm feeding it to you, man.
you're right.
But if he
You're right.
updates, if he says yeah, it's Zach, I'll let you know. Stargate has more brotherhood since they have a bunch of teams. Yeah, I mean, sure, I guess. Hold on a second. Um, well, Masons. Let's see. There's
I'm floating
something
in
someone
space. Can
said.
you tell?
James says Spock is the greatest Mason. He controls emotion and it was logical. I think above all that, he didn't have an ego, and I think that's probably the ultimate goal of Freemasonry is to kill the ego, not
He
necessarily
was.
in kill
Yeah,
it,
he
but
was completely. Yeah, he was completely logical. There was no ego. It was all logic.
yeah.
That's all it was. Yeah.
Jason Rockenberg says, "Will the festive board have good food?" Yes, it will. And I said this earlier, like quality, quality. There's kind of it's an inverse relationship between price and quality. Higher, well, no, it's not inverse. It's a directly proportional relationship. So the higher the quality is, the higher the cost will inadvertently be to an extent. And so
Jason,
the trick is finding that fine line where the quality and the cost will still be appealing to everybody. But we definitely are going for quality.
are you asking if it's going to be better than the food you had last time you were down in Corpus? Yes, it's going to be better. Good
Uh,
enough?
yeah. Uh, Kadeem says,
I knew
thank
you'd
you,
like
just like
that
going
one.
from Padawan to Jedi, from EA to Master Mason. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I like to kind of think of myself as a modern day Jedi. We'll just put that. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You
Without
like to think,
all the cool abilities. Oh,
but I like to think of myself as
It
Yoda
is.
because he practices hermetic principles.
Zachary says it is
Go ahead.
actually Zach. So just like I told you, it is Zach. Zach Smith. It's my
It's
pleasure.
Zach,
Yeah,
just
what
like I
saying.
said.
No, I was saying that,
Okay.
man. It's Zach.
Okay, I thought you were.
Hey, what would we just say about the ego?
just correct.
What were we just saying about the ego? You need to stop trying to take credit for things
that
I'm
you have it all.
right about.
That you have it all.
Yeah,
okay,
I have all the answers, so you need to stop taking credit. You need to kill your ego, man.
Let me go get my gun.
Oh, Sean Rothberg. Sean Rothberg just became a supporter. Man, it's on fire. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. 2 members.
Man, I'm glad you're supporting him. Now some people will buy some shirts, then I'll actually get some money out of this.
Yeah,
not just kidding. Just kidding, brothers. I don't care.
Zach Smith says, not Zach Smith. James Kirkpatrick says, I like to kill the ego concept. It's amazing how much we get done, but don't care if it takes credit. That's why I was rising you a minute ago. But yeah, it's once we stop worrying about the credit and the collective goal that we should have as Freemasons and as an organization, then you can actually start getting things done. And when you have the opposite thing happens, it becomes a mess.
Yeah.
Charles Smith, to balance the ID and ego, to have enough who strive for high goals, but enough ID to control the self-righteousness that would lead to excessive pride. Yeah, balance in all things, right? But in many cases, the ego is overrides a lot. I mean, I frankly, ego is something I work on. I got a pretty big ego. Sean, I just got your message, and you're right. I agree.
I have a big mouth, and he has a big ego.
Yeah. Oh, Sean found the goat emoji. So yeah, that's probably gonna be his go-to now. Yeah, I do have
Sean,
a video.
Sean, you are uninvited from Wednesday's show if you keep this up. And I did enjoy talking for a while until you started bringing up goats.
We'll just do it you and I if we got to. Jesse Freedom,
I was watching
on Facebook, says, I'm in the hospital or I'll join. He's from Fort Worth. Sorry to hear you're in the hospital, brother. Hope everything's okay.
Oh, man.
Hope you get out soon, man. But we definitely
Lots
appreciate
of prayers
you joining.
to you, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Lots of prayers to you, brother. Hope you get better.
Absolutely.
It's funny that you mentioned goats, though, because last night I was sitting there flipping through the hotel channels, and of course Revenge of the Nerds is on, and they get to that part where they go where they're doing the initiation part, and they have all these candles and they've got all these paddles and with the hoods on and all that kind of stuff, and the guy goes, here, I'm going to do you a favor, you're going to need these, and they're 2 big old condoms. And then all of a sudden in the background, you hear this goat in the background.
Okay.
Well, could you imagine if you're sitting in the ante room and somebody goes, hey, you're going to need these.
Oh, yeah.
Though Sean may have needed them in his ante room since he he knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's probably the last time Sean went commando anywhere. But
right? I know.
So Jason Reichenberg says, I talked with Dennis earlier about jealousy. So when I was being successful, it takes nothing away from you. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I, as a district instructor, my goal is to get as many people with certificates as possible, right? And
yes.
And that's because ultimately I will need to be replaced at one point. We all will, right?
Right.
And so if I, as a district instructor, haven't got people prepared to follow me, I failed, right? And so it's about elevating other people. And then what was my other example I was going to say? Let's see here.
Well, if I get kicked out of the fraternity someday, I hope to God there's somebody that'll take
Yeah.
my place and do exactly what I'm doing today.
Yep. Yep.
I truly feel that way.
Well, I have a Muppet just in case something happens to you. I got a Muppet. I'll just. But no. But the same thing. The other example I was going to give was about podcasts. Like I had lots of
Yeah,
brothers
we
say
help other
they're
podcasts. Yeah.
yeah, that they want to do like their Masonic podcast, and it's like, do it, do it. There's plenty of space, there's plenty of room. I'll give you any advice I can. I won't edit your videos for you.
Right.
I've already committed to helping some other brothers with their stuff. I'm not taking on any more of those projects. But it's like, man, do it, do it. I'll help
Yeah,
you
you need
however I
to
can.
stop that so you can get ours going.
Man, we are on time with our stuff. I don't know what you're talking. Ours is priority.
You're not on my time. You're on your time.
Yeah, well. Let's see. RTZW to synthesize the concepts of oh, I always forget that guy's name. Freud. Uh,
Freud.
Freud. Yeah, yeah. To synthesize the concepts of Freud with sci-fi. What if there was a thing called the Freudian slip drive that was used to travel in space? It could be a mind-blowing show. That sounds like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to me. I think that was something similar on that.
Yes.
Um,
That was
Jason Rockenberg says too many people get jealous about other people logic. Oh, well, that's what. Yeah, too many about them being successful instead of being happy for them. Instead, they get resentful. Yeah, that's ego, man. I mean, there's plenty of room. We live in a universe that may or may not have life on other planets, but there is more wealth in the universe, just in our solar system, than that could ever be conceived on Earth, right? And so my point is, we live in a universe of abundance, right? And it may not feel that way for some people. I understand that there's some people that are in severe poverty, severely lacking things.
right.
But the universe itself, I'm not saying we live in a universe of equal access, but the universe has abundance. And if you believe in a creator, which as a Mason I sincerely hope you do, if you believe in a creator, that creator created a universe with more abundance than the entire human race can ever touch. And so
Than we could ever fathom.
yeah, that we
Yes.
could ever fathom. So if he or she or it or however you believe can create that much,
Both.
then certainly you're deserving of all the good things that this world can offer you, right? And depending on what you believe, it's either there for the asking or there for the taking or there to work towards, but it exists.
And really it boils down to this. You've heard through time that we only use 10% of our brain. The reality is the further we open our mind to the potential of what there is, the more we're able to receive. So like Justin was saying, if you believe he or she or whatever, um, in my opinion personally, um, the creator is both he and she.
Mm.
It's a balance. It's a balance. It can't be one without the other.
Yeah.
And so if you start to open your mind to those kinds of concepts, it opens your mind to so much more than what you've been able to
your mindset determines your reality.
Exactly.
There's a really good book. It's a really short book. It's called As a Man Thinketh, and I can't remember the name of the author.
Yep.
But
that's a good book.
It's a good book.
I've read it. It's been a long time. But
yeah. I mean, you can sit down and read it in like an hour at the most. It's very short. But
I
it's
know.
As a Man Thinketh.
That's why I've read it.
And it's very powerful. If you're not really the reading type, you could watch it's on Netflix, probably on YouTube, The Secret. Same concept. I would say that it probably doesn't do the
it's
concept justice.
pretty similar.
But
right.
It's the same idea. Like the we are all in tune with the universe. We're all in tune with existence itself in some way. Either you can look at it from the physics perspective, you can look at it from a theological perspective. They all agree that we are all one, and your mentality determines the wavelength around you. So it's all about what you ask for. It's all about the kind of thoughts you have, the positive thoughts you have. But that's a very interesting concept. But that's a rabbit hole. Like we probably don't have time for it today.
Yeah. We're really only limited by the finite um, literal concepts that are stuck in our
But
mind. If
I
we
guess
can
I guess
if
the
we can open ourselves from that, then we can really achieve a lot more.
I guess the
Go
point
ahead.
for all this is don't be jealous of other people's success. The universe has more than enough abundance for everyone to be successful if they put themselves in the right position. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um
I concur.
yeah, and Sean Rothberg says, would you rather be wealthy in materialism or wealthy in wisdom? Um I'll be honest, I mean I would like both, but if I had to choose,
I've never been that wealthy to be able to decide if I like it or not.
yeah, yeah. Let me try both of them, and I'll get back to you. All right. So
Exactly. You like send it on over, Sean. We're waiting.
yeah,
We'll test that
yeah.
for you.
But
We'll let you know.
let me try materialism first because I think the wisdom with the wealth and wisdom, I'll probably be over the materialism. But let me
If
try
if
that
I
first.
if I have the money, I'll just shoot down to the Philippines and kick it in the ocean for a while and let you know how I feel.
Yeah, wise words, Dennis. So Dan Best says, how hard is it to get kicked out of Freemasonry? I have a grandpa swears he was kicked out of Freemasonry. He actually got mad at me when he found out I was wanted to be a Freemason. Well, Dan, that really depends, man. That really depends. It depends on your jurisdiction. It depends on your grandmaster.
Well, and it
Some
depends on your personal.
in what you do, right? If you if
Yeah,
you if
I
you if you
I push the boundaries a lot.
if you
Shouldn't.
go to
Yeah,
prison, regardless of your grand lodge, you're probably going to get kicked out, right?
yeah. You're gonna
If
get kicked out.
if
Yeah.
you have like a DUI and you take you unalive somebody, probably going to get kicked out. If you're a district deputy, you take a picture with a beer. Depending on your jurisdiction, you might get kicked out.
If it's
So
this year, you're gonna get kicked out.
yeah.
If you have a cigar and a beer, you're
Oh,
definitely
you
out for
kicked
more.
out twice. Kicked out twice.
Yes.
There we go again, Dennis. We were supposed to behave tonight. It's your fault, man. It's your fault. But so it is possible. We'll just leave it at that.
Brothers, we're just poking fun. We're not,
Yes,
it's okay.
Dennis is poking fun.
I am just poking fun because it is what it is. It changes every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every grandmaster has their standards as to what they expect. Brad, he was very serious when he first came on. He may have been one of the most forth or front thinking grandmasters we've ever had in my lifetime. But at the same time, he had a very serious talk with me about how I presented myself on social media and stuff like that. Y'all have all probably noticed that this past year I was not on Facebook as much as I was the previous years,
Yeah.
and I did not have as many of the very harsh reality discussions that I've had in the previous years, and there's a reason, and that was it because I truly trusted that we had good things going on, and I did not want to be the reason to mess that up. So our new deputy grandmasters, they're going to feel the same way. They don't want to mess up the positive stuff that G Clay is going to bring. Most worshipful G Clay, even though we're not happy with all the stuff that he does, there's going to be positives that come out of it also. And it's just like every past grandmaster, there's always some positive, there's always some negative, and we just have to figure out how to find that balance and remember that we're brothers in this, and we just got to figure out how to freaking get along. That's the thing. Can't we all just get along?
Good talk, Dennis. Zachary Smith says, dang, that's something else.
Give us some tacos.
It really is something else, man. Dad Best says that makes a lot of sense. He didn't know shooting somebody, so I guess that would do it. Yeah, I don't sorry, man. I don't really. I don't know. It's just not making sense what you said, so I apologize. Maybe it's just the way I'm reading it, but
And you may not want to say it online.
yeah, maybe not. Charles Smith. We were working for something larger than ourselves. We must work together for the common goal and good. Yeah, and
Yes.
ultimately,
Yes.
that's really what it's supposed to be about. It's not about who
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
credit. It's not about who does the. I mean, we should all be putting in equal work, and that's where dues come in, by the way. But we should
And let's
all
keep the light on.
let's keep the light on, man. But we should all be
Yeah.
working for common good. Like, yeah, absolutely. It's like
Yeah.
the Christmas gifts, right? Just work for the common good. Don't let the ego get in the way, right? Like there's plenty of opportunity throughout the year to promote ourselves, and really the only reason we're promoting ourselves is so that people know we're active in our community and will maybe join. Like that's really the big reason
Chuck,
we promote ourselves.
right. Chuck, where's your brother? I'm wondering.
Who? Who you talking about?
Charles Smith, his brother Timothy.
Oh,
Tim. They are two of the best brothers. I tell you what, if you have ever felt a lacking for brotherly love, go up there and see Brother Fluff and Tim and Charles Smith over in Lubbock. You know, those brothers, they know how to
I don't
make you
know,
feel
man.
welcome and
Fluff
loved.
ditched us for lunch. He was supposed to go eat lunch with us, and he ran off. So I don't know about
Yeah.
that, man. He
Well, he's more popular than
he
us.
abandoned us. He's not more popular than us. Maybe more popular than you, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he's got the TikTok. He's got the 30 seconders. We've
No,
got the all nighters.
TikTok's a totally different beast, man. So you can't compare
It is.
memberships or
It
anything like
is. You
that.
cannot. You
Ray
cannot.
Ray Molkai Ray, I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your last name. Over on Facebook, he says hello from Saddleback 672, Lake Forest, California. Saddleback,
Oh, hey,
very
awesome,
cool,
California.
very cool.
Going back to Cali, to Cali.
Yes,
Nice.
the OES chapter is Saddlebags. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Oh my God. Forgive him. He does not know what he
I'm
does.
sorry. I'm sorry. I
He
can't help
knows he
myself.
knows not what he does.
I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome to have California brothers. You know, we also have Sonic Muscle comes on. Cesar Rubio, he's from
Hmm.
California. He comes on a lot and visits with us, and we love having you brothers on. You know, y'all do things some a little bit different, some a lot different, some a lot alike, and it's always fun to be able to visit with you brothers. Thank you for coming on for
Yep.
sure.
Um, let's see. So Sean Rothberg says, you may not completely like the officer, but you should respect the office. That's what his dad told him. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean,
That's exactly right.
you don't have to agree with with everything they're doing, right? But you have to as soon as you lose respect for the position, it all goes downhill from there, right? It's
Right,
never regained because it's
right.
yeah. So you always have to respect the position, even if you don't necessarily agree with or respect whoever's behind that office. James Kirkpatrick,
If you do that,
seriously,
you lose hope.
seriously, this is James Kirkpatrick. Seriously, when he was Grandmaster, he's talking about council. Grandmaster Brad and I had a private difference of opinion on one of my decisions, and love that man a lot. We are one. Yeah, yeah, and that's what it's about. Like you can have a different opinion if you can come together and actually communicate on the level.
That that's the beauty of Freemasonry is that we do all have different
Yeah,
opinions and we discuss them instead of it's you should have freedom of thought, right?
yeah,
It shouldn't all be the same or we'll never grow and become better than who we are.
yeah. Um, let's see. Jason Rockenberg. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Charles says his brother's in bed. Jason Rockenberg says, waiting on the
Good
Masonic Improvement
weekend.
Tinder profile. You don't want to see the picture on that, man. You don't want that. I mean,
Yeah, you don't want
you
Justin on
don't.
there.
I was gonna say you
It's
don't want
just
Dennis
not.
on there, but whatever.
His hands are a lot smaller than the rest of his body.
Yeah,
I'm telling
I
you.
got tiny hands. Zach Smith says TikTok is a very sketchy website. I wouldn't suggest anyone use it. It is sketchy it can be. I'm on it a lot.
Who
Um,
says it?
Zach Smith says it's sketchy.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean, yeah, there's some sketchy stuff
There's
on
a
there,
lot.
but you kind of got to get away from the algorithm, and it gets better. Like mine does Masonic and like ghost
Yeah,
hunts and stuff like that.
check out Brother Fluff.
Yeah, Brother Fluff's good.
Brother Fluff. FLUFF. Brother Fluff. Zach has got it going on. He's man, he was made for TikTok. I couldn't do it. There's no way I could talk that.
James Kirkpatrick says he uses TikTok. He calls it his wristwatch. He goes TikTok when he holds it to his ear.
Oh my god. Wah, wah, wah. You're starting to sound like Justin. Now I know why Justin likes you so much.
Charles Smith says he means well. He squirrels hard sometimes. He's talking about Fluff ditching us. No, I think what happened was I asked Fluff if he wanted to go to lunch with me, and we're together, and we were waiting on Dennis to stop talking so he could come with us. And after about 20 minutes, he just kind of went off. So that's on Dennis. I don't blame Zach for that.
That's okay. It's on me. That's okay.
Fluff. Yeah. You might be surprised, but Dennis can get distracted sometimes in conversation, and so it is what it is. We'll just leave it at that.
You know, if it wasn't for my talent,
don't even start there. Don't even go down that road.
You see him get all nervous as soon as I say that. Yeah. Because if we take away the talent, then it's going to be crickets.
But I'm not going anywhere.
Me neither.
Okay, well, we were talking about talent. Oh, Charles Smith says, LOL, Dennis was still on those Rochelle ramblings. Maybe so.
Yes, I was. I was still a right worshipful at the time, and yes, I was.
Yes. That's funny. Cool, man.
Somebody's got to be.
Well, this has been a 2-hour live. When we did decide to talk earlier, we're like, hey, let's just do a short live. It's been a long weekend. I don't want to really spend all night on a live. And then the conversation just went on, and here we are sitting at 2 hours. So
I know, and I'm exhausted. But this was so great. I love this time to talk with you, brothers. Yeah, I really do.
I enjoy talking about Star Wars, Order 36, ideas for Masonic lodges to be active, roasting Right Worshipful. Well, you're not Right Worshipful anymore. Roasting Dennis. Got 2 new members out of it. That's always great. Sean Rothberg says, good night. Good night, Sean. And so, Sean, we're gonna
Wednesday.
Yes, I'll reach out to you and see if Wednesday works for you. And then, if that's acceptable, then I'd like you to come on and talk about Kabbalah from Jewish perspective. So that'd be good. James Kirkpatrick says good night to you, Sean, and to everyone. Thank you, James. Always a pleasure to have you, James.
Thank you, James. Yes, thank you,
Dan Best
James.
says thank you all for your time. Dan, please keep us updated. We do appreciate you, reaching out to us. But definitely reach out to the Grand Lodge and see what they tell you and let us know.
Yeah, Dan, I'm sorry he wasn't able to make it this weekend. I'm sorry. I was planning on talking to him this weekend.
RTZW says y'all have a great week. Thank you, sir. You too. Devin McLean, one of our members, caught the tail end of the stream. Keep it up. Thank you, Devin. And Zach Smith says, awesome. You have a great night, fellas. Looking forward to future videos. Awesome. And Zach and Sean.
Every Sunday.
Zach and Sean, don't forget, now that you are members, you have access to the ad-free content. And if you were, I think Zach became a booster. Zach, you'll also have access to several of the full versions of our videos. So like the last one I recorded was like 2 hours long. It ended up being 39 minutes for the public. But for the members, you get the full, and it's a really good interview. So well worth your time and money for the booster. So I'm glad you did that. Let's see. Charles Smith, good night, brothers. I hope that this year is a year of Masonic improvement and your event goes well in Corpus. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
It's going to be awesome. Jason Rockenberg says good night to everyone except Dennis. Brad says thank you both. And Iceman says, good night, brother.
But I love you, Jason.
Good night, everybody. And thank y'all for your time tonight.
Keep it between the points, brothers.
Yeah.